Okay, well, welcome everybody to another edition of Hangout Live with TrekWorks and the gang. We've got a full crew on board with us tonight, and we're going to start off things by going around the room and having everybody introduce themselves. We're going to start off on the extreme right here with Trotus 180. Go ahead, Trotus.
Hi everybody, I'm the new kid on the block from Tacoma, Washington, and I've been building, these models started out last year, and this is the first time I'm on this in this hangout. And what I've been working on was, I don't know if you can see this, but
Ooh. Wow.
Oh boy.
You can see that.
Wow.
You have been working.
and
I love it. Oh, the sea view.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Oh. And I've been doing this, like I said, since last year. Thanks to you, Boyd, Steve Neal, Simon Merckx, and Healy Powers.
Awesome. Well, great job on those models. That is really looking great. Have you got something you're in the middle of working on right now?
Yeah, this one. Let me get this over here.
Ah, the Into Darkness Enterprise.
Yep.
That's great looking.
And
Hold still.
Oh yeah, he's got her all lit up and everything, guys.
Ooh.
They're
Yeah.
beautiful.
There you go.
Yep, like that one. Excellent.
Outstanding.
So now you guys understand my retirement plan is just like his.
Sounds good. Okay, we're going to move along now. We've got Ralph Tenaglia with TenaControls up next. How you doing, Ralph? And introduce yourself again, buddy.
Hey, I'm doing good, Boyd. Thanks for asking. I finally, we talk every now and then, and you guys say, hey, what are you doing? What's new? Well, I want to show you something, if I
All
can.
right. We love eye candy.
Well, I don't want you to look too much here. I don't know if you can see this. It's a picture. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see what it is?
Is it a jet engine or something?
You got it.
A chair.
Wow.
What this
It's a chair.
Yep. Okay. What this was and was a project for me. This gentleman, he's an avid pilot, and he's retired. He's an ex-CEO, and he flies around all over the place. And him and his daughter went out to the boneyards out in, Nevada or Arizona?
Arizona.
Yeah, and picked this up. Now, why I got involved is because he wanted to make us. I'll put this away because I think most of you guys seen it. Just staring at the girl anyway.
Well, yeah.
Well,
So,
it is Pratt and Whitney.
So what he did is he wanted a sitting chair, and he gave me all these specifications. He says, I want a sitting chair, and I want the lights on, but then when I fire up the motor, he built this motor effect, and if you sit in the chair, he's got vibration actuators, and he bought these industrial Electrolux motors, and he took them out of the canisters, and the way he arranged them, I'm telling you, it sounds like a friggin' prop plane is taking off.
That's pretty cool.
So what he did is he works it on remote control. It's stuff that you can buy for your home lighting. And what it does is he built a special power supply to run all this, that the voltage, when you hit it, would ramp up from 0 volts to 12 volts slowly. And I got involved from the aspect that he wanted those fans, blades, to look like they were spinning. So obviously you can't spin them in this house.
Yeah.
So it was the optical illusion, because he found me through the internet because I was selling those Jupiter 2 fusion cores.
Okay.
Now, the thing is, those things, he's pulling 6 amps, where my little guys only pull like maybe 60, 70 milliamps.
Right.
So we had to design a special board for him, but he loved it. It worked out great. He lives nearby, so that was the beauty. I actually went over his house. We put the prototype board in, which ended up being the actual final board because it worked just the way he wanted it. and then he put it in his library, and it's beautiful. He had the chairs custom made. He uses that NASA foam with 4 different density levels.
Wow, he went all out on this thing. Yeah.
Oh man, this guy is unbelievable, Boyd. But it worked out. He likes it. What more am I gonna say? But it kept me busy, kept me thinking. So it was interesting.
That's cool. All right, Ralph. We'll come back to you again in just a little while and talk a little bit more what you're doing with the modeling community and all that.
No problem.
Okay. Okay. Up next we have Phil Robeson. I hope I'm saying that right, Phil.
Yeah, that's okay. It's Americans seem to like to call me Robeson. It's generally Robson. I'm in New York in the Hudson Valley. I've been in the States for 15 years. I'm an expat Aussie, and I've been building models, generally aircraft, since I was a little kid. But in the last few years, I've been doing a little bit more sci-fi modeling. And I don't want to make anybody seasick. I posted my Millennium Falcon on the site today, and if this, I'm not sure if you can see, but actually I might move the camera. If I can get a picture of the War of the Worlds models.
Oh, those are nice.
Yeah, I want to get these outside and photograph them. I actually saw today that there was a lighting kit for the tripod. I don't think it was available when I first built the model, but it's always a good excuse to do another one, isn't it? And over here, and it's a little bit far away, is HMS Victory. That's a wooden model from one of the Italian companies. I've been working on that for 10 years now, and it's still probably only about halfway done.
It looks beautiful, though.
Wow.
You see the Falcon there next to it.
Yeah, there's the Falcon that I posted on the modeling site today. My Constitution over there is a little Corsair in front of it. And up here, I'm not sure if you can see it, sitting up there in front of the window is my...
The Mighty 350.
My 1701. That's my practice unit. Okay. I have a... I've been watching you, Boyd, with the NX-01 build.
Okay.
And I've got that. That's my next planned build. In fact, I'm TenaControls have actually shipped my buzzard lighting for it this week, so that's the next thing off. And there's a few other little models sitting in my display.
See the War of the Worlds machine there, and
it's like
a
there's
Klingon
the old
bird of prey.
Yeah, I posted the Bird of Prey and the Galactic today. I was going to post the 1953 model on the website, but when I got it out to photograph it, I'd used that Krylon metallic paint, and my fingerprints have like grown into it. So it's I've got to do a little bit of a rework on that.
Okay.
That's pretty well it, guys. That's where I am. I've got, as I say, I've got the NX-01 on the workbench, ready to go in planning stages. After that will be the JJ Enterprise, and both of those will be fully lit. And I was looking at that, the Yamato that you were introducing.
Yes.
That is one expensive kit, but boy, I'm looking forward to watching you build that, Boyd. So
yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. That is one heck of a model, isn't it?
It is. I saw it on eBay. Somebody here wants $800 for it on eBay, but you can ship it out of Japan for anywhere between $400 and $500 with up to $200 shipping. So I don't know. Well, we'll watch how you go with it. But that's it, guys. That's where I am, and I'm really pleased to join you, and I look forward to sharing with you.
Excellent, Phil. Well, we're glad to have you on, and thanks for the tour of the beautiful models. They look wonderful.
Thank you.
Okay, up next we've got Mike Bassford. Go ahead, Mike. Take it away, buddy.
Hey, good fingerprint remover.
He's holding up some pledge there, it looks like.
You got it. With future.
Okay.
You can give that to
That's what they're calling it this week, Mike?
Huh?
Yeah.
That's what they're calling it this week?
Yeah. Yeah, floor care. All right.
Okay.
But give that a shot, a little Q-tip with a little rub on the fingerprints and see if you can't flatten that out a little bit.
Great. Thanks for the tip. You bet.
And worst comes to worst, a little water will take it off. My name's Mike Bassford. I'm in Inglewood, Colorado. I'm model cars mostly, for the most part, but I have an abiding interest in all the science fiction models since I was a kid. And I'm 64, so that's quite a long time I've been interested in science fiction and science fiction modeling. The only science fiction stuff I'm working on is Cylon.
Okay. That would be the
I've got two of
Mobius.
these, and I'm doing. I've got everything drying over on a paint stand, and I can't really show it. And my camera sucks. It doesn't. I can't show anything really high quality.
Well, we can get the idea there, Mike. That's the Mobius Cylon Centurion kit, right?
I have two of them.
Nice.
And I'm working on two different ways of painting them and building. I just acquired this Willis cab over, Flintstone. Gary, what's his name? Flintstone.
Jimmy Flintstone.
Yeah, it's a resin kit.
Okay.
It's narrowed and channeled.
Wow.
The top is chopped, it looks like. So I have built a 810 cord cab over engine with a bed on the back of it to hold a midget car. I'll try and show some of the work I've done. I don't know if this will even show. Don't forget Bender.
Oh, yeah, there he is.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is kind of. I don't have any idea of the quality of the. Those are some of the projects I'm
Well,
working on.
we can see some of the cars there. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how well.
A couple cars and trucks.
I do mostly all Ford type stuff and then classic cars, and I have put a. I'm a flight simmer, by the way, and I'm very familiar with sound modules for under your seat. I'm very familiar with full motion or 6-degree motion cockpit things. I study the heck out of it. I built some controls, converted some controls from the old style. You plug it in the back of your computer to USB. And then I'm into 3D printing.
That's going to be big in the next few years, I think.
Well, I think if a guy I could do a nose for a model car and then fill it in and do things with it to make at least a buck. If I wanted to make bucks for vacuum form, I can, that 3D printer's ideal for that sort of thing. Because you can glue it together. ABS glues together with acetone really well. And you can smooth it with acetone. I'm just I guess I would say I'm a generalist. Since I was a kid, I built one of those ships in a bottle that the actual bottle, the bottom comes off. I forget who, Pyro, I think, made it. That's the only ship I ever had anything to do with, other than I built a model of a Texaco crude oil carrier that was famous in World War II for having reached Malta under many, many, many days of attack and damn near sinking it. The only thing keeping it afloat was the oil inside. But I built that model ship, but other than that, no ships. And okay. I don't have room in my situation to build a great big 350 scale Star Trek thing like I want to build, but I just don't have the room. So I'll turn it over to who's next there.
We've got Harvey coming up next, but thanks a lot, Mike, for sharing that. Some really interesting stuff you're working on. Glad to have you on with us tonight.
Yeah. Sorry, it's not all science fiction tonight.
We're not all science fiction here. We're all interested in a lot of things.
Yeah, I've got stuff. I'm painting one way I'm painting is it's I painted the primer, polished the primer, painted it black, and now I'm getting ready to paint silver. And the black isn't dry yet. It's taking forever.
A little bit humid there today.
Hmm?
A little bit of humidity there today.
It has been humid, yes.
Yeah, that'll definitely affect the drying time. Okay, well, thanks a lot, Mike. Up next, we got Harvey Kogar here, one of my good buddies. How's it going tonight, Harvey? Introduce yourself and tell us what you're working on.
Hello, everybody. My name's Harvey. I've been modeling. I used to model back in the old days like everybody else. It's been a good 15, 16 years. I just got back into it. I am currently working on the DS9 space station and a Mobius Iron Man war machine. I'll give you guys a little light show here. Put my camera around. So we got DS9 here.
Oh, man, would you look at that?
It's porn.
Wow.
Man, I feel like I'm on the set of Star Trek here. That thing looks beautiful.
Wow.
And I have, I'm sure a lot of you have already seen this, but I have these really cool thruster effects from Ralph, TenaControls.
Yep, I just saw them all come on and light up. That looks great.
Harvey, is this your build that I was following today? You've been working on it for some time. You cut the lights by hand and then redid them?
Yeah, well, this is the clear kit, so really all you got to do is a lot of scratching.
Yeah. Didn't you redo all the lights because you weren't happy with them?
I'm going to do some of the outer ring windows. Some of them turned out kind of crooked. I actually been waiting for this. I just got this today. It's a base that our buddy from Sci-Fi Model Action, he builds some bases. His name's Wolf359 over there at Sci-Fi Model Action.
Dave, yeah.
Yeah. And he just built me this really nice octagon base here.
Sweet.
To go on it. So as soon as I get that all finished up and get everything transferred over, the DS9 will be on its way to being finished, and I'm really looking forward to it. I also have the Mobius war machine here. If I can get it to light up for you guys. There's what it looks like unlit.
It's beautiful work, Harvey.
Let me these little clip things here, man, are a real pain. Killing me. See if we can put you down here.
There we go.
Yeah, I see it. I see it. That looks good.
Oh wow! Look, he's got the gun firing Gatling gun there on his shoulder too. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, we got a nice lava effect that I did for the base.
Wow.
Look at that too. It's animated. Isn't that cool?
Sweet.
So that's pretty much all I've been doing. I actually just took a kind of a sabbatical, so I'm just getting back into the swing of things. I was waiting for that base, and so yeah, that's from my bench to yours.
Very cool, Harvey. Thanks for sharing that with us. It's awesome. It's coming along really nice. Okay, up next we got Eric Hawkins here. Welcome again, Eric.
Okay, how you guys doing?
Doing great.
Like I said, just been getting things together for my little Jeep battle star. I know some of you older gentlemen remember the Jeep carriers from World War II. So just a little small version of a battle star. Making it out of a runabout, and also have working on a new design for a flying submarine.
Well, that'll be cool.
I'm making it out of a B2 bar.
Interesting.
But what you got this easy, that's what I say. And as try to explain to people, I don't build a lot of models, but I do have a lot of ideas. So you break a model, you don't know what to do with some pieces of models, let me know. I'm your idea man. I'll bounce a few things off of it.
So
And
you're interested in a lot of scratch building type stuff then, right, Eric?
yes, I see something like this, and I'm telling you that's an engine. Trust me. Just trust me, it's an engine.
Those masters from Hollywood took quite a bit the same approach to that, Eric. So,
but Ralph, I need to talk to you later about some control boards or something, like some lights, something I'm thinking of. Okay.
Okay. Sure. Anytime.
By the way, Eric, when I see that, I get hungry.
Cheeseburger in paradise.
Okay. All right. Well, up next we got David Haynes with us. Welcome, Dave. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're working on.
Hi, everyone. Yep, my name is David. I live in St. Paul, Minnesota, and I'm currently building Voyager. As far as me doing models, I haven't been doing it very long. I started roughly about 5 years ago. I'm 39, so I'm kind of got into modeling kind of late, but so far I've built, and I like to show you it, but unfortunately they're in my living room in my curio, and my webcam only goes about 2 feet. So what I'm currently working on is Voyager. I've built, my first model ever that I built was the 350 Enterprise refit, and it turned out well. It wasn't lit or anything. I also built the Enterprise E and the Reliant, and none of those have been lit. My current project is Voyager, which is actually my first lit kit, and it's been a slow process. I can show you just briefly, and most of all my build updates are on my YouTube channel, but right now if I just swing this around, I don't know how well this will pick up. Let me click on, I don't know if here we go. Right now I'm working on the second nacelle, which I don't have the clear pieces in yet, but I just have the outer, all the LEDs are done, and I'm just test lighting it right now over on my bench.
Looks good.
Yeah, and let me grab one other piece. There, let me throw this back on the monitor. I did finish.
Good evening, man.
I did finish the other nacelle, which finally it took me a while to figure out what paint color I wanted to go with, and I ended up going with what is it? Tamiya's light gray. It's a little bit darker than what I've seen in other people's videos, but it's a little darker than the actual molded gray, but it turned out really good. This is the color I was shooting for. You can see here the flux chiller grills and the Bizarre collectors. They're just matte finish. I decided just to leave them a matte finish instead of painting them red and blue. So it really turned out good. The impulse engines in the back light up, as well as the intake on the front. So I wish I had this all hooked up that you could see this glowing, but it really turned out beautiful. But again, I'm working on that nacelle, and I've got all of the other parts photo etched and everything, but I don't have anything else glued up or painted or anything. But that's where I'm at so far on my Voyager. I have an incomplete 1,000th scale Enterprise refit that I started about a year ago, and that's almost finished. I should get on that and get that done. But that's where I'm at on my builds, and just want to say to everybody, it's nice to meet everyone, and thanks, Boyd, for thank you.
We're glad to have you on, Dave.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
You mentioned your YouTube channel. What is your name on your YouTube channel so people can check that out?
Well, not to get confused, I originally, when I first started, decided to do video builds. I first started out with a channel called Model Talk for Life, the number 4 life. So I originally started out with Model Talk for Life. So some of my first videos are on that, and then I wasn't happy with that name. It sounded kind of tacky to me, so I switched it over to Trek Builder about a little over a year ago. And then once I started Trek Builder, I took a break for about a year in modeling. I kind of wish I didn't, because after not doing it for a year, you can get kind of rusty. So I don't plan on going that route now. I'm back full swing, and that's where I'm at.
All right, Dave. Great, man. Nice stuff you're working on there. Appreciate you being with us again.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Appreciate it.
Okay, up next we got Chris Whitford. Go ahead, take it away, Chris.
My name is Christopher Whitford. I am better known on the SFMA forums as DLOT17018A. I've been doing this for 12 to 15 years.
Flip your mic down, Chris. We're barely picking you up. Something's muffling you.
It's my webcam mic. It's the only thing I've got.
Okay.
Hold on.
No, say, sounds fine to me. I don't know.
He got real quiet to me. Can you guys hear him okay? It might be just me.
Yeah, he was okay.
Yeah.
Right. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Pretty much I'm what's known as a competition builder. Means I build for model contests in the South Carolina, North Carolina area. Mostly a sci-fi builder, and I also run the Google community Sci-Fi Fans and Model Builders United. So that's enough about me.
And show us a little bit about what you're working on there, Chris.
Well, I've got several things I'm working on. First thing I've got is a 1/32nd scale 1989 Batwing.
Love that one.
Wow.
That's really cool.
I'm also working on the 1/2500 scale original series Klingon.
Aha! The old D7.
2500 TOS Romulan Bird of Prey. 2500 Motion Picture Reliant.
Wow.
And then the piece de resistance, the Enterprise E.
Wow, great. Now, what scale is that one, Chris?
1400.
Okay, well, that's a hard one to find, but for the people that might be out there watching, what's your opinion and thoughts about those little 1/2500 kits, and what do they come with and things like that?
Well, I've already competed with, as far as built-wise and competed-wise, I've competed with the Klingon Motion Picture, Katinga, and the refit, and I love the new repop for the motion picture set because it's a smooth hull. I've never liked raised panel lines on my starships. I love a smooth hull because decals go down so much better. And with raised lines, you got to sand them all down. So I'm finding that the new molds, I like it very much. Like I said, it gives a much cleaner adhesion for the decals.
Do you get fairly complete decal sheets on those versus the old releases of those kits?
Oh, yes, you do. As a matter of fact, for the motion picture set, you got a full Aztec set for the Reliant and the Enterprise. So, I mean, I wish I had a picture to show you of the Enterprise, but unfortunately, can't pull it up right now. But the Enterprise Aztecs look just like they do for the 1/350th and the 1/1000. Like I said, I'm probably going to start with the decals on the Reliant the next day or so, trying to get them set up so y'all can see what it looks like. But I find the 125 kits, it's not so much the older kits, but some of the newer kits I'm liking very much. I like the no panel line detail.
Yeah. Okay, great, Chris. Well, glad to have you on with us again tonight. And for those of you that haven't checked it out yet, like Chris mentioned, he's got a great community on Google+. Chris, I always have trouble with that. It's Sci-Fi
Fans and Model Builders United.
There you go. So if you guys are interested in that, stop by and check Chris's community out. It's a really nicely done community. It's growing really fast, too. So they've got a lot of stuff going on over there. Okay, and up next we've got Angus Nicholson. Hi, Angus, and glad you could be with us tonight.
I'm glad I was able to figure this out. It's my first Google Hangout, although I've been doing video conferencing for eons, it seems. By trade, I'm a software engineer, so I've been thinking about a new project to use the Arduino boards to run all the lights for an enterprise. Now, like many of you, I don't have a lot of room for the 1350, so I went out and I found myself one of the smoothies. Actually, I have two of them.
Awesome.
And I got this, actually, I don't know if you've ever seen the really good job that was done by Arthur Pendragon. I actually got this kit from him, so it was kind of neat to get. He's down South America. I've been working on that now. I'm just finishing up something that's not exactly sci-fi, although there are some sci-fi aspects. There's an old movie, Heavy Metal.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the...
Golly, I haven't seen that in a while. Yeah.
1981.
Yeah. That's the year I graduated. I didn't say that, did I?
Well, that makes you 1 year ahead of me then. So, and towards the end, they have Tarna, and she's on a mounted bird.
Oh, yeah, I remember that whole thing. Mm-hmm.
I actually got this kit from Raven Wood, who was the sculptor that created it. He noticed that I really wanted the kit and hooked me up because he was repopping the molds for it. And while he was doing that, he mentioned he had a few others, so I've been using Hollywood as a test subject to learn how to paint flesh.
Seems like you knocked
That's
it
some
out.
good-looking flesh.
Yeah, I think you got it down pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm working on it. In person, it's not anywhere near as good as over webcam. Webcam really helps out a lot.
Okay. Well, then that enterprise you're working on down there, that would be the original 1537 scale by AMT, right?
Yeah, it's the ancient AMT kit back from the motion picture.
Yeah, it's really hard to find those original smoothie kits anymore. They're expensive on eBay.
Yeah, and when you I'm doing all the Don's Light and Magic upgrades for it, so you have to cut out sections to be able to add windows, and I had to cut out the whole top portion to replace the B and C deck, and then I removed the impulse deck so that I could add the corrected piece.
That's
so
great.
The next thing I'm going to do on these is I've got to go back through my my movie collection and make sure I know exactly where all the flashing lights are so that I can drill the holes for fiber optics and LEDs.
Okay.
And then I had this set aside. Got the base here that I ordered. It's no longer available. That's going to light up.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Laser cut.
That would be from. Would that be from Matt at Laserfire Creations?
That's the one.
Wow.
Okay. I think he's back to doing a little bit of work again here and there.
Oh, that'd be awesome because the 1350s really need this base.
Boy, are you sure he's back?
He is. He's doing a little bit of work, but he's a little hard to get a hold of. I got somebody I'm working with on another project that just recently made a Reliant panel like that for him. But I don't think he's officially announced it on his website or anything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You might contact him, though, and see if he's, if he can do something for you.
It's a really beautiful piece. He did
he
a
does
really
fantastic.
nice
job. The 1701A that I bought from Ralph at TenaControls, 2 years ago, that I believe that set. Ralph, is he the one who made that?
Yeah,
on there?
Yeah, Matt's a good guy. I actually met him down at Wonderfest that year, and met with his wife and himself. And yeah, he does this at home. He loves doing that stuff. He's been a little busy though. That's part of the hang up with him throttling back for, unfortunately for onesies and twosies. But if we can, persuade him, hopefully, because I just sold one of my last ones for the 1701 to Tony.
Oh,
the
okay.
NC-17. I had a plate. It's the 6-inch one for the shields up.
Yeah.
And he needed it, and it's been sitting around for I think two and a half years. Since, as you know, Boyd, I'm out of that business part now.
Yeah.
I said, listen, I don't need this. He goes, yeah. He goes, the other guy wanted to sell it for $500, but he had like 3 or 4 of them. Different. The Reliant, the NC 1701. I said, I just got the 1701. He goes, that's the one I want. So I gave it to him for a steal, and he was happy, and I got it out of my drawer.
Okay. Well, thanks for helping out a modeler there, Ralph.
Hey, no problem.
Appreciate it. Okay, Angus. Well, thanks for all that stuff you showed us. And do you have somewhere that you're documenting your build-up on your ship there, Angus? Do you have a website or a YouTube channel or something that you're...
Yeah, I have a YouTube channel, with YouTube, and they're changing how everything works. I'm listed as Angus Nicholson on the page, but the page name is AGN3.
Okay, very good. So some of you guys watching can check that out and follow along with Angus's build-up of that model. That'll be cool to see.
I'm sorry,
Thanks
Angus.
a lot for bringing us all together.
What is that
Oh,
again,
not
Angus?
a problem. Glad you guys are enjoying this. I think Eric's asking you a question there, Angus.
Eric, it's
Yeah, right.
user/AGN3.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you again.
user/AGN3.
ADN3.
Angus Graham Nicholson III is me.
Okay.
Angus like beef, Graham like cracker, Nicholson like Jack.
AG3.
AGN3.
AGN3.
Yes.
Now you got it.
Alpha Golf Nancy, I think is what he's saying.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
Alpha Golf November.
Alpha Golf November 3.
Okay.
Got
Sounds
it.
like sounds like we got some military guys in the room there. We want to make sure we get that right.
Only wish I had that privilege myself.
Okay. Well, guys, just a little bit about what I've been working on too. You guys maybe have seen that I just put out the update video on the big one I've got coming up next, which is the Bondi 350 scale space battleship Yamato. I'm really excited about working on that thing, but that's going to be a kind of a several-month-long project. So I'm going to be doing some smaller stuff in between, and one of the things I wanted to share with you guys. I decided just for fun here, I'm going to build up this 1/1000 scale Enterprise refit, and I've always wanted a replica of the ship after it was destroyed. The self-destruct sequence from Star Trek 3. And there's a fellow by the name of Brad Hare out there who makes a nice little replacement resin saucer section that already has the battle damage there in the front, where the whole front end of it's blown off and you see the ribs sticking out and everything. And then I've also ordered Paul at Paragraphics has a really nice little photo etch set for your all your battle damage and everything on the hull and everything, which is pretty cool because you cut out certain sections here. You actually make some holes in the hull and you lay these overlays over it, so you get like a 3D battle damage with some detail behind the holes and everything like that. So I'm not going to be lighting it or anything because after it blew up, it was pretty much lights out. But
Yeah.
that's going to be my next little fun project in between here while I'm doing the Yamato and a couple other things that I'm working on. So I thought you guys might like that. But
Yeah.
that should be a lot of fun.
Gotta be
Boy,
the
when I
same.
seen that in the movie, it broke my heart.
Yeah, it was pretty traumatic for a lot of us fans. So.
Oh, speaking of which, how are your neighbors doing?
Oh, they're doing great. Thanks for asking. They are apparently they have some relatives that live close by, and I think that they're pretty much 95% sure they're going to get the house rebuilt and fairly soon. I don't know if you guys may not know what Eric's talking about, but over the last weekend, my neighbors 3 houses down here, their house completely burned down to the ground. So,
Whoa.
but yeah, I mean, things can be replaced, life cannot, and they survived it and everything. So
Exactly. Just tell them.
Did any other houses get damaged?
No, they were. When I was out there that night, my wife and I were out there until about 4 o'clock in the morning that night, and it looked like they had reached a certain point when they realized the house wasn't going to make it, and they just concentrated water and everything on the houses next door, and fortunately no damage to the houses that I could see once it was daylight the next day, so pretty lucky. I mean, it's been dry around here in Texas, too. It could have easily spread, you know what I mean? So
Pretty heart-wrenching to watch that sort of thing happen.
It is. I mean, that's the first thing we thought was like, wow, you know, just like that.
Yeah.
You just don't know, you know. But like I said, all the worldly possessions can be replaced, but as long as you're still alive, there's another sunshine going to come up the next morning. So
very true. I went through that when I was 8 years old, and it's just one step at a time. You'll get back to where you are. So
exactly.
They got each other, and that's the best part.
That's exactly it. Well, does anybody on here have any questions that they want to ask of the modelers that are here, or anything that they want to share as far as?
I have one question. Does anybody make a large Enterprise E?
The largest is the one I have right now.
Not anymore.
Well, there's someone to make one bigger.
The biggest one out there, if I'm not mistaken, is the 1/1400 scale, correct? For as far as just standard model kits go, there are probably some. I know Simon Merckx built up that huge monster that he built. I don't even know what scale that was.
I think it's 1,000 scale.
Yeah, it's like what 3 or 4 feet long, but
yeah, that was a big one, right? I've seen that one.
But that's from some kind of a specialty molding company or something like that.
Yeah, that was Sovereign Replicas who made that, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
It's a 44-inch disc.
Yeah, a monster.
Wow.
Talk your wife into putting that in the living room.
They're repopping the 1/1400, so it'll be readily available here.
Right, that's very true. So
soon.
We're going to put those high-priced people on eBay out of business.
Don't waste your money.
Oh, getting back to the 2500 scale, I find those are just useful if you got an idea, you want to put an engine in a certain place, you want to check out the angles. I just love the 2500 scale just for that. It gives you a good visual image of how you want it to be at the end. And you don't have to spend too much money on them. And you can always add details on the full-size version later.
Oh, yeah.
Gives you an idea of what you want for the lights also.
Well, one of the nice things that I've seen about the 2500 scales that they have pretty much all the ships. So I've seen some builds. We've got several of them over at Sci-Fi Model Action, and I've seen a few in other places where they have an entire display of all the starships, you know, all in the same scale, which is something that you don't see very often, and that makes a pretty cool display. And we've got some guys, including Harvey there and Jerry from Sci-Fi Model Action, that are actually lighting those things. And
yeah, I think that's taking it to the level I'm not even going to think about.
Me and Jerry are actually
right there.
Me and Jerry are actually going
Harvey's
to light
holding that. Yeah.
Nice.
The 12500 toss. Me and Jerry's actually working out right now how to light it, and we actually come up with an effect for the nacelles where it's going to have all the little colors in there, the little twinkly colors, and the SARD collectors for the little 12500 here. So you can see it just by my finger how
small
little the nacelles are.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, but that's going to be a nice display with all of them in the same scale like that.
Well,
I had a question. If I'm talking too loud, I want to know. Am I talking too loud?
No, you're just fine, Mike.
No.
Okay. I did have a question, a couple questions. In many of the movies and the television series, at different times on set in the captain's cabin, or no, his ready room, in the ready room, there are bas-relief models of different starships on the wall. You know what I'm talking about, bas-relief?
The gold on ships in the Next Generation.
Huh?
The golden ships in the Next Generation.
Is that it?
In his ready room.
They're in Picard's cabin, I think, right?
Right. In
his ready room.
Yeah.
No. They're
Okay.
in
I've seen them in some movie.
the gold ships are on the Enterprise D inside the meeting room.
Is that where they're at?
Yeah. Inside his cabin or inside his ready room, he has the Stargazer. And then when it switches to, I believe, Insurrection, there is a glass replica of the Enterprise E sitting in his ready room.
Which were the ones that he smashed in First Contact?
Those were the actual 1/1400 scale models.
Oh, okay.
And basically, there's a story that goes behind that. That those were not supposed to be put up there. One of the guys that worked on the set had all the models fully painted. They were not supposed to be silver at all. They were supposed to be fully painted for First Contact. And he was having trouble finishing up the E at the last minute. So they went with the silver coated models from that were actually from the Next Generation, and they had just put an E in at the last second, and that's why they're silver colored, and were broken. And when they did the rifle to break him, they wasn't supposed to be broke either. So,
oops.
Yeah. A little glue would fix that.
You broke your little ship, Picard.
Right. In any case, there was some that were molded as part of a interior of a like a display, a wall.
Right.
Yeah. That was it.
That was it.
Mm-hmm.
Was it, someone should come up with I would like to see a vacuum form thing that you could just paint it and put it on a wall like you would have in a ready room or in your quarters.
So sort of like a 3D sort of just a profile of the ship sort of thing.
Right. Bas relief.
Okay.
Yeah. That would be. I think a lot of people would love to have something like that. There's beautiful paintings. There's gorgeous photos, and there's all that stuff. But a 3D, that would do it.
Bandsaw.
Even if it was all gold or something, who cares?
Right.
Bandsaw.
I think that would be a cool thing. And then the other thing there was a gal on one of these hangouts that was showing her damaged
Voyager.
Was it Voyager that she had?
Yeah.
Yeah, she done a heck of a job. She didn't have any sound, but she did a heck of a job with that. And I think she used some of the materials you're talking about.
Yeah, her name is Christine. She's from England.
Wow. That was a beautiful model. So it's worth doing one of those damaged models. Now, myself, as far as lighting, there's a guy in Lakewood there that sells a thing that looks like arc welding for sparks.
Mm-hmm.
Electronic circuit. It's just flashing LEDs that flash in a way that looks like arc welding. You could put that in your damaged thing if you could get,
Well,
right.
If you go to ViewDX, the ViewDX, is that it, board?
I'm sorry?
The website is ViewDX Special Effects or something like that.
Or you mean Voodoo FX?
Yes.
Okay,
They have a nice little light that you could use for that. It's a campfire or something like that. But
right.
If you go to the website and look through the catalog, you can find something they have that's perfect for it.
Well, they over at they've just recently in the last year or so started making LEDs that are just what they call flickering LEDs. That'll give you that exact candle flickering effect, or like if you wanted to put a few of them together and make a sort of a fire effect.
Right.
Which they used to have a control board of some kind to do that effect. But now these are all self-contained. You can buy those at eBay. There's a user over there called Lighthouse LEDs.
Yep.
They carry all kinds of LEDs. The some of the SMDs that a lot of us have been using now, which I keep getting corrected on that. I'm calling them SMDs because that's what they're calling them. But I don't know if it's a surface-mounted device or surface-mounted diode or whatever it is, but it's a very tiny, tiny LED that comes pre-wired. I mean, looking at one of those when I first got one, I was like, oh, there's no way I'd ever be able to solder onto that. I mean, it's like you'd have to have a micro solder machine. So I advise, if you're going to buy them, to buy the ones with the leads already soldered on, with a resistor already on there, and they're set up to run like anywhere between 7 and 12 volts DC. So just
or you can go to Hobby Lobby and buy one of these fake votive candles.
Yeah,
You know, cut it up and.
Right, they had those.
What Space did with his Munster's fireplace, the television. I don't know if any of you guys have seen. That's
Chris over at Classic Plastic 101. Yeah. He's a fantastic builder.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a beautiful effect.
It does.
My lava effect that I got here on my war machine is from the flickering LEDs from Lighthouse LEDs. They work really good. And just to show you guys how small an SMD is.
Yeah, that is small.
That is a very, very small SMD. And like you said, they come pre-wired with a resistor already on them.
Reminds me of grain of wheat.
I would think an SMD is, I mean, that would be no different than pulling off an LED off your LED.
Pretty much the same thing, Dave. Yep.
Well, yeah, and if you see, look how bright they are. I mean,
they're extremely bright. Yeah.
I mean, you can't argue with that. You know, they fit almost anywhere. They're bright enough to do anything that you possibly could need to do.
That is what I used on the. A lot of people ask me that one on the 350 refit that I built. You know, everybody wants that floodlight effect that comes onto the top of the saucer that lights up all that registry and everything. And you can basically mount one of those. I've seen people where they're drilling holes in the BC deck, or they're trying different ways, you know, putting an LED in there. But you can basically mount one or two of those SMDs in the forward viewport of the bridge and angle it just right. And I mean, it will put that perfect flood lamp effect out on the front of that. That's how much power. And the reason that they give more of a sort of a floodlight is that they're not focused. You know, there's no lens over the top of it like you have on an LED, which that tends to sort of shape the, you know, your regular LED has a plastic lens on it, sort of shapes the beam coming off of it, and it only has a, you look up the specs on an LED, it'll tell you how many degrees of angle it has for visibility and things like that, where an SMD is just throwing it out there. So you can make really cool floodlight effects with those things.
My 3D printer has probably 4 or 5 of those SMDs on it, and they 2 on the heated bed, and a couple on my.
Sure about the outlet and whether it works or not. Okay. Well, she said she knows that one over there does.
We got some. Oh, I see. All right. 2 on my heated bed, and 1 on the ramps board and 1 on the Adreno board, and they're extremely bright from any angle. You don't have to look for them.
Right. But where do you guys get your SMDs from?
Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
There's a gentleman on SFMA by the name of HDA ModelWorks. He sells them.
Sci-fi model action.
Yeah. He has a website. It's HDA ModelWorks with an X.
What was that again?
HDA ModelWorks with an X at the end of ModelWorks.
Yeah, it's not KS, it's WORX.
Like X-Men.
Yep.
Okay.
And while we have a moment, a gentleman, when he's talking about the Enterprise E, a gentleman who's watching this through the internet, there is a 1/1000 through Titan Models, and I put a link over here in the chat box, so whoever was wanting to find out about that, they can check it out.
Thank you, Chris. Titan, I believe, makes a few different large-scale resin kits. They've got a 350 scale Katinga that they offer, and a couple others. I think a few large-scale 2001 Space Odyssey ships, and you can have a look at their website. They're on the web, I'm pretty sure.
I'd like to add too, if not for Jerry at HDA Model Works supplying me with the SMDs, I'd never have this DS9 lit. I mean, I got 80 of those suckers in there.
Wow.
Yeah.
If you guys buy this kit and you try to light it, you're going to find out real quick that there's not a lot of room in there for lighting, So you really need to use like SMDs and stuff like that to get in all the tight spaces.
Did
Right. Good
did you
point.
run a lot of fiber?
No fiber.
Oh, wow.
Now, being that that's a clear kit, it's basically the idea is you're just getting the interior of the model saturated with light, and then you're just basically going and poking through the paint, and making your light bleed through it and give the effect of, similar to the Clear Enterprise B kit that's out there now that I built up a while back. A lot of people have built those since, but that's exactly what you're doing with that too. You're painting it, and then you're either drilling or not all the way through. Just you can actually take a pin vise and just make 1 or 2 turns or whatever onto the surface to remove the paint, and you've got a perfect little lit porthole right there. Or if it's an elongated window, you're taking some kind of scraping tool and scraping it, and it works really good. In fact, if you go look at a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff, one of the things that I can think of is, the big star base that they did for Star Trek 3 and the damaged Enterprise returns and everything for the first time. That whole entire model was all done in transparent, and they painted over it, and every single window you see lit on that's all been scraped.
Okay.
And light's coming through the inside of it.
Yeah, I wasn't sure when that. Sorry, guys.
So that's how that was done. So they've kind of carried that over, and I'm kind of hoping that they'll make it to where a lot of these new repop kits that are coming out will be available in clear, because it sure makes it a lot easier to do the lighting on it instead of drilling out those. Can you imagine on like the Enterprise E or something like that, drilling out like 2,000 window ports on that thing to get it lit?
Tell me about it.
Voyager isn't far behind that.
Right. Yeah, it's got a lot of windows too.
The thing of it is with the clear kits, they have a lot of advantages, but they have disadvantages too. I mean, the light leaks. My God, the light leaks that these clear kits have. I mean, it's a royal pain, but I mean, it's so much less work than sitting there drilling out and filing out windows and stuff.
Speaking of drilling.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, boy, thanks to you, I had to do all that.
Oh, man.
Oh.
Who's showing that? I can't see who that
Hold
is.
still while I click on you.
Okay. Yeah, hold still there for a second.
Oh my goodness.
Look at that beauty.
My goodness.
Beautiful.
I hope that was the clear kit.
Yeah, but that was the clear kit, and I followed you when you did yours.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, well that's not too bad, right? You get used to it after a while when you get that scraping action going on. You start it starts to get easier as you work your way through it.
Oh yeah, your eyes start going cross.
Yeah. Well, that's a beautiful model.
Gorgeous.
Very nice. Anybody else have any questions or anything?
Well, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna, and maybe this was what made me think about this is, Boyd, your Into Darkness Enterprise is beautiful.
Oh, thanks.
Absolutely beautiful. I love the, and I think I've made this comment more than once. For your, I think it's the Bizards. The blue Bizards. How do you? And this question, of course, can go to anybody that might have some pointers. When I first started to build models, my first one, of course, was my 350 Enterprise, and when I first painted the flux chiller grills, now, of course, this one wasn't meant to be lit, but when I first started painting the clear parts, I first wanted to paint it with clear paint. So my question is like with my airbrush, now I have, oh, it's not to me, I think it's, give me a second, sorry.
That's okay.
In my airbrush, I use a lot of the Model Master acrylic.
Okay.
And I have a few bottles of clear, like clear red and clear blue. And when I've tried using clear paints, I'm having a very difficult time ever since I started building models. My biggest problem is that when I airbrush clear paint, and I have it thinned down, but not too thin, but when I spray it, it almost either looks like it not runs, but when I spray it, it never turns out even.
What are you thinning it with?
Well, I'm thinning it with.
Is it like beading? Is that what you mean?
Well, it has beaded, but it's like when I spray it on, it seems like I keep spraying and spraying, and it doesn't get like a thin, or I mean an even coat all the way across. It looks, I don't want to say blotchy, but it doesn't look, yeah, I guess it's not even. It's uneven in some spots and heavier in some other areas. And when I'm airbrushing, I mean, I'm sweeping it, you know, nice even.
Sounds like it's thinner, like whatever you're using as a thinner.
Yeah. What's your thinner? What are you using? Oh, that should be
Tamiya.
okay.
Yeah, I'm using this, so.
It's kind of well known that Tamiya is very sensitive about what thinners it likes to have with it. That it, you know, using different types of thinners with Tamiya paints will cause reactions, and most people say just go ahead and use, whether it's, what is it, some alcohol or
Denatured alcohol.
Right.
Or, well, with Tamiya, I hate to say it, you really need to use the Tamiya thinner, because if you don't use the Tamiya thinner, it will react badly.
Yeah, but he said he was using testers.
No, well, I'm using, yeah, I mean, as far as the paint itself, and I mean, I think I've used the Model Master acrylic, but I've also tried.
The clears, though, you said the clears are Model Master too, or
Well,
are
I'm
they Tamiya?
I'm going to ask you something here, Dave. Now I'm holding this up right here. Tamiya actually has clear, true transparent paints.
Yep, I was just going to hold this up, and I think I'm trying to remember which one I used last.
Okay, X23 is one, and that's for their blue. X27 is the red.
Yep.
Right, I think I have used. I'm trying to.
And 26 is orange.
Okay.
No, it was. I'm sorry. It was the Model Master acrylic, the clear red and clear blue that I've been trying.
You can't use that Tamiya with Model Master.
That's why you can't use that Tamiya thinner with Model Master. You have to, you know what I mean? Like,
you'll need.
There's a big difference.
Oh, really?
Well, acrylic you can thin with water.
Well,
not
really. I would try.
No, not all the time. You can't. I mean,
not
the
acrylic urethane.
Yeah, the acrylics that I'm using are you know, they're petroleum based. You cannot put water with that. If you're using a water based acrylic paint, you can, but my paints are not water based.
If you're using Model Master, you can thin them with water or denatured alcohol.
Yeah, that's what I used, because I used the Model Master clears and I thin them with alcohol. But just on a different subject, and I have no problem with those clears.
Can you guys get that?
Yeah. When you're using other acrylics, I mean any other acrylic colors, this stuff, you can see it.
Golden medium, yeah.
Golden airbrush. This stuff is like gold. It's beautiful to spray.
That's the name.
Show it again, please.
Yep.
Phil?
Sorry?
Show it again, please.
Yeah, it's called Golden Airbrush Medium.
See, your name is blazoned across the bottom.
Yeah, hold it up just a little higher there, Phil.
Higher. There you go.
Let me turn the name off.
There you go.
Thank you.
No problem.
What is it? Golden?
Golden. Yep.
Airbrush
You go to Dick Blick's website, Art Supplies. You'll get all sorts of stuff. In fact, I used this medium and the Golden Pearl additive to spray the 1701. This stuff's great because it doesn't dry, doesn't clog the airbrush. It really is good. I love it.
Now, aren't some people using for some of those acrylic airbrush paints out there? Aren't some people using like I've heard that they're using window cleaner stuff to thin some of the paint?
It's right. They use all sorts of different things. The only thing, I mean, alcohol is very
Yeah, you can
popular.
use this. You can use
problem
this
with
right
that- Yeah. These
Windex.
things.
It has an ammonia
Windex, yeah, I've been hearing
here.
that.
Windex without ammonia.
Without
without.
ammonia, that makes
Yeah, without.
sense. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't spray with the, you know, I get asked questions all the time on my builds about, okay, what paints for those? And if you guys have been following me for a little while, I'm using all automotive-based paints that I mix up myself, acrylic urethanes.
Right.
And for some of the detail work, I'll use some of these. Pretty much the nicest paint I think is Tamiya. I mean, their paint is pretty good stuff. But one of the things I was going to say, Dave, about that just the spraying on technique alone, though, you know, once you get the thinning thing figured out, is that you want to set your air pressure pretty low, and you want to back off when you spray on that and really just lightly fog it on. Because I think one of the things you were sort of talking about was that you were getting where when it's lit, like the translucency of it is not equal, right? It sort of looks
consistent.
Right. Because when I paint like with any other acrylic, whether it's blue, gray, whatever color, other than the clear, my thinning methods have been fine. And I mean, I know you guys have mentioned that Tamiya does. I mean, I've used this and I haven't had a problem with using the Tamiya thinner with other colors. Now, the only time I've had an issue is when I use the clear red or blue. Specifically, I use the blue. I've used the blue more. So when I have sprayed the blue, yeah, it just seems like it doesn't spray as even as non-clear acrylics.
Well,
so
you got to understand though that the clear paints, you know, they have like different properties. You know what I mean? And me and Boyd was talking about this, where he found out you can't like clear. Was it clear coat you put over it and it made your blue run?
Yeah, it doesn't like to be clear coated over at all.
You know what I mean? So it has some different properties, and if when you've worked with it for a while, you'll start to realize there's just certain things that it reacts with. It doesn't
clear it with Future, which somebody was just showing, because that will not attack anything. That stuff is totally neutral. Yeah.
But I recommend you get the Tamiya clears and use your Tamiya thinner with the Tamiya clears. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you shouldn't have any issues with the thinning at all. You know what I mean? It should spray nice and even for you.
Okay.
And then back off on that air pressure a little bit, and do not get the brush too close where, you know, you put like a dark. When you're getting really close, you're concentrating the spray. You know what I mean? You're going to make it's going to be too concentrated where you just want to fog it on there. And then look at it, you know, hold it up in the light, and just keep doing that until you get the consistency that you want, and that's basically it.
Now, Boyd, I seen all the stuff that you painted. Now, when you say lower the air pressure, how low?
20 psi, 15 psi.
15, yeah, 18.
Yeah.
It depends on.
I normally spray at about 35 to 40 psi with my airbrush, but for doing like, you know, that little detail work, or like he's talking about fogging on things on those transparent grills and things like that, 15 to 20 psi.
Oh, okay.
Now when you
could do what we used to do a long time ago is dip them in food color.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
That's a long time ago, when you could get food color that actually would dye plastic. I doubt if they have that anymore. Probably illegal.
You can also get the clear blue and the clear reds and stuff like that in a spray can from testers.
Yeah, I've tried them, and it's.
Yeah, but that
don't
runs.
Even waste your money. Don't even waste your money. I've tried it.
I've tried that, and I
They're
had more
not.
problems.
They don't come out nearly as nice as the Tamiya stuff
They take
does.
forever to dry too.
Yeah, they're enamel based. That's why. Yeah, but yeah, I was going to say, Mike, what Mike was talking about too, with the food coloring. A couple times when I've wanted to have something, I'm trying to think what I did that on. Okay, on my 350 refit, where you have the little thruster ports around the saucer, you know, the little, I don't know what they're called, RCS thrusters or whatever they are around, you know what I'm talking about, around the edge. Well, those are supposed to be yellow. Well, you can use, like say your crystal clear or your canopy glue that I often talk about. You can put the food coloring that they make, it's water-based. you can mix that in with that stuff, guys, and change the color of what your transparent stuff looks like. So if you've got a couple little windows that you want to be red or yellow or orange or whatever, that food coloring will tint that. When it dries, it'll be transparent, but it'll be that color.
Great idea.
You can mix that in with that stuff.
Welcome, Wolfie.
Hey, Wolf.
There's Dave. Welcome, Dave.
I'm doing something here wrong. I lost my picture. How you all
We
doing?
can see you.
Doing good.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, we can see all right.
Look at that serious eye candy he's got going on there.
Wow. Let me see what I can do here. Yeah, that's what I was working on a little bit, so I figure I'd show and tell and have a little eye candy at the same time.
Beautiful, Dave.
Eye candy? That ain't eye candy. That's starship porn. What are you talking about?
I see you got your screen in there.
Hang on one second. Let me get out and jump back in because I got something going on here.
I think I'm going to have a TOS Trekgasm here.
Oh, there I am. Okay. I figured it out now.
Sometimes you can have 2 copies of Hangouts going, and you will get a strange feedback if you have 2 copies going.
Well, what it was with me, I was watching you guys on YouTube, and then when I jumped in, I forgot to close it out, and I don't know, I was getting the echoes. And, yeah.
What a beautiful display, Dave.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been working on, as Harvey said, the LED screen. I put a few of the pictures of the build in there. I'm going to eventually go back and kind of go through a time process as far as that. And then I still got to put in an MP3 player that I'm going to put some different toss sounds and stuff. But I thought I'd show it off tonight on your show. So
very cool, awesome. Dave.
It looks great, David.
Now you've got some functions that the buttons you've got on the console actually do some things, right?
Yeah, these. Let's see if I can. Yeah, these over here. One runs a certificate that I got with the kit.
It lights that up. Okay.
Yeah. The next one runs the lights on the panel, and then the red one runs the ship lights.
Very sweet.
Wow.
But then I also, when I built this, I put in a LED dimmer where I can control the motors on the Bazaar collector, so I can slow them down, stop them, or make them race like round 2, give you the motors for.
Wow. That is totally cool, Dave. I really like
we're
that.
at condition red, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So me and my good buddy Jerry over there at HDA Model Works, we've been working on this together for a while, and we designed it. He did it in a 3D graph, and then I scratch built it. So it's coming along quite well.
Really
I
cool
really
to share
don't
that
have a
with us,
whole
Dave.
lot more besides the MP3 player, mount the speakers, and that won't take that long. So I'm hoping to really have this completed.
So you're going to have sound in that thing too. I mean,
yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, it'll have sound. It'll have you can put anything you want on it. You know, the different bridge sounds. You can put the opening. What I did on my D was use the opening, like the Star Trek Next Generation with Captain Picard and all that. And then I've also got the ambient sound of the engine that will run for about an hour or so if you wanted to, so it sounds like it's just sitting there humming.
That's cool.
Yeah. Adds a different element to it.
Yeah, well, guys, I'll point out that Dave is the guy I was talking about. He goes by Wolf359 over at Sci-Fi Model Action. When I did that Katinga a while back, if you guys saw that, where I had it on the base with the V'ger cloud and the sound effects and everything, Dave's the one who built that whole base for me.
Oh. Okay.
So he's a really, him and Jerry worked out the backlighting and for the display on the top and everything. A couple of really talented guys.
They come today, Dave.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm glad it made it in one piece.
Very
Dave,
cool.
I was wondering, since you used the Wolf 359, if you were related to the Wolf 359 that used to post 3D meshes of starships.
No, this Sci-Fi Model Action, really, when I got back into it, is the only forum I've ever joined. I've only been back into modeling now probably for about 2 years.
Awesome, awesome job.
Same as everybody else. I did it when I was a kid, left it for a while, you know, same story. Got back into it. And then it kind of led into the basin of wood thing, and I always liked working with wood anyway. And
I think a lot of us are into that same, like you said, a lot of us have come back to it. You know, once I got back into it, that was actually thanks to my buddy Ralph over there. I had been away from this thing for
a famous mishap.
Yeah, well, this had been I had been away from it for, you know, like you guys, since I was you know, teenager, early 20s, and now I think about it, I think, what the heck was I thinking, man? Why did I ever walk away from it? I mean, it's so much fun, and you know, but we get a point in our lives where we don't have anything to do, I guess. So that's why
we're like the original cast, you know. I mean, like, you know, we just, you know, had to take a little break, and then we come back, you know.
Now all you need, Dave, now is a chair.
Yeah.
Who, me?
Yeah, you. How many
days
you got?
I'm sitting on a stool.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I think he means the
Star Trek captain's chair.
Oh,
yeah,
Well, I was just going to mention that because I saw there was a guy, I guess, who's been on your live shows building one, and I've been watching his, and I.
Oh, that's Wally, from Starfleet Model Academy. That's something great. Yeah.
I know. And I'm going, you know what? I might have to dive into it a little bit. Because I've thought about it for a while.
Don't forget what the Foxtrot button.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to have him build one for me that, you know, instead of having to eject the ion pod, it eject the dogs or the kids if they're bothering me.
There you go.
Put off an electric shock.
Something like that.
I like kids as long as they're properly cooked.
Yeah. Well, let's face it, we're all just big kids anyway, so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
You know who I'm quoting, right?
I think I've heard that somewhere.
W.C. Fields.
Yeah. Hey, go away. Keep you bother me.
You bother me. Go away.
Never work with kids or dogs.
Yeah. Well, guys, I think we've gone for about, let's see, we've gone for a little over an hour and a half here, so I think we're getting close to calling this one a wrap, guys. Anybody have anything else they want to talk about or share real quick? Ralph, you got any updated news, or you want to give them some information about your website or anything like that?
Yeah, this gentleman, he sent me a little model. I think I might show it next week. It's the UFO one, the flying saucer.
Oh, from the original Invaders, or whatever it was?
I don't know if it's Invaders, but it's made by, what is it, Protec, Pegasus, whatever.
Okay.
I think it comes from England, but anyway, it's the one that's got it's a gray shell, it's got an upper and a bottom, and it's got the green dome.
Okay.
And the green windows. So I'm coming up with a couple of lighting schemes for him because he was commissioned to build it. So once I get through with that, I'll probably put it on under the Tena umbrella as something else to offer.
Sounds great, Ralph.
Was it that one?
Where? Who said that?
Angus is showing something.
Is it this one?
Oh, he's got the little bitty guy inside there.
Let me see. Can you go back?
Pull it back a little bit, Angus.
No, that's not it. It just says UF. It looks like, yeah, that's the same company make, but it doesn't say Alpha
They make a couple of different ones, yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool one too.
Yeah, so that's the one I'm working on, and I'll show you guys next week, and it'll have the same disclaimer, Boyd. It's like I painted the inside to kill some of the light leaks, but I'm not painting the whole damn thing. But I did frost the windows just to give it a better, smoother
cool,
effect.
Ralph. We're gonna get you to build a whole model yet, buddy. You just wait.
One of these days.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, Ralph's at www.TenaControls.com, And Ralph didn't mention it too much about it earlier, but he builds lots of, you guys will hear me mention him a lot on my channel, but he builds lots of nice lighting kits for our science fiction projects we work on, starships. I think he's expanding more and more as we go along, so I have nothing but good to say about Ralph's stuff. I've used it for a lot of the things I've worked on. It's just a great product, and Ralph's really good about support too, guys. And he builds custom stuff too. If you've got some little things that he's that he might be able to help you with, you can contact him and he'll help you get something worked out. He did that for Harvey's
by far
Deep Space Nine. Yeah.
The best aspect of TenaControls is the fact that if you have an idea or you have a vision, you can contact Ralph and he'll make it happen, man.
Hey,
yeah.
we try. You know, it's a collaboration. But that's why I showed you that picture earlier tonight. Is I love doing special stuff. You know, it makes life interesting, and I don't mind you know, spending some time doing things like that. As a matter of fact, I did some work for a company that makes music pedals. I don't know if any of you guys are musicians. They have those pedals that they put on the floor when they're playing guitars, electric guitars, and they switch from different types of notes and things. Well, they wanted to make a video of a goofy video with one guy playing like the Mad Professor and the Big Bang. They made a microwave thing, and they wanted these LEDs to flash like randomly, like in a Lost in Space type computer console. So I made one for them, and they put it. It's called Celestial Effects. They make pedals. You know, anybody that wants to play, you know, in the music industry, or whatever. But
that's interesting.
So you can see I'm trying to span different genres, different gamuts. It just keeps me going.
Very cool, Ralph. Appreciate it, man.
I'll keep that in mind, Ralph, when I got one of those wild ideas.
All right, you call me, Dave.
Oh yeah, we'll be calling you, buddy.
Oh, you're almost out of beer there, so it's time to go, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
about empty.
I just wanted to wrap everything up here, guys, and say thanks to each and every one of you for being here. Appreciate it. Thanks for showing us your work and talking about some of your modeling experiences and introducing yourselves. I had a good time. I hope everybody else did, and hopefully we'll make this a regular thing, guys, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you
call
very
this
much,
one a wrap.
Good night, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for the memories.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.
Right.
Night, John Boy.